Okay, here we are again. It's Friday. Thank
We are
Lord, it's
here.
Friday.
Thank goodness. We do this on Friday. It's kind of our downshift after a long week. And Melinda today has an issue with the real estate industry. Well, maybe realtors with a capital. I don't know, but the word realtors is a copyright word. I think there's a company in California, somebody in California copyrighted that word, and so if you end up using the word, they've got it, they own it.
They own it. So it's capitalized and trademarked and everything.
Yes. So
you know.
something I'm just going to write tail shot with this one here to talk to you about realtors, the real estate industry, what to look up, what to maybe look for, what to watch out for, and basically what they do and what really great realtors like Linda does. So go ahead, let it out.
Okay, so really interesting long week, and this morning I actually woke up and was excited. I thought, oh yay, I'm really excited to be alive today. I think that's the first time in a long time that I was feeling that general excitement. But throughout the day, it's been a busy day, and something has just been irritating out of me. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post, but you can join me on Facebook as well. It's Melinda Goodwin, luxury real estate expert. But on my Facebook post the other day, I put real estate agents call them salesmen, but they don't study salesmanship. So what does salesmanship mean, Keith? What does salesmanship mean to you?
Well, it depends on if you're selling yourself or you're selling something else. And if you're selling yourself, well, there's no real salesmanship required there, other than the fact that most people lie about who they are, and so that's not really good salesmanship. But if you're selling something else, it's a matter of whether or not you believe in what you're selling, and a lot of people just don't believe in what they sell.
Okay, so my son is currently in California selling pest control, and we went through his whole manual, and we talked about how to overcome objections and how to approach people and reading body language, and I really kind of went through all of the steps of being a great salesperson, right? First off, you have to know your product. If you don't know your product and you don't believe in your product, you should not be there. Second, you have to know how to read people's personalities, how to read are they quick to answer? Do they just want to get in the information? Do they want to sit and socialize? That sort of thing. It becomes kind of an art. But I find in real estate, especially when you first start out, they don't tell you this. The first thing they tell you is it's easy. Okay, it is not easy. There is nothing. I would rather do CPR today. That's CPR to me is easy. Real estate is not. Okay, it's great money if you do your job and you do your job consistently, persistently, and the right way. But it's not easy. So if you're going to get into real estate because it's easy, think again.
Think again. It's real estate too often is associated with car salesmen. You go to an auto shop or auto store, and they want to get salespeople in there real quick because they use up their network, their family, their friends. They sell cars to all of their close networks, and once they use you up, they get rid of you. And that's typically about 70% of the industry of real estate. Is they go into real estate, they tell all their friends and family that they're now a realtor, please use me. Mm-hmm. And once they use them, it's basically been used up. A good real estate agent has been in there for a couple of years. They've stood the test of time, they figured it out, and they know contract law. My wife and Melinda are both real estate agents, and they're constantly complaining about new real estate agents coming on board. Oh, I've got to do the work for them. I got to fill out all this HUD stuff and all this FAFSA stuff, all this legal and financial information that most realtors just don't know anything about.
Now, can I tell you that was very intimidating to me? When I first started, all the contracts and how the contracts work, I mean, it's a 6-page contract deal when you write up a REPC, which is a real estate purchase contract. And so I was consistently going to my broker saying, okay, I don't have a deal on the board yet, but can you show me how to do this contract? And I was always just kind of pushed aside. So I'm thinking there's a big lack in communication and education, and that's what my issue is today. It is that people who are here and who have been here a long time feel like it's a big competition, that they own the area, and they're not going to teach you as a new agent how to even survive in real estate, let alone what the contracts say. And I have to be honest, even brokers, some brokers, not mine here at RE/MAX First, he's super good, but the brokers tend to just not want to help you either.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm only going to sit in my office and I've got 40 agents. You guys do your thing and I'll just sit in my office and do my thing. I don't want to be bothered.
Well, because we're fine with the 10 that produce.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you don't last a year, that's where it is. Most of the people when I first got in were like, oh, you're a new agent. I was very dedicated, 8:30 in the morning till 5 at night. I came in consistently, sat right outside my broker's office. I mean, I really wanted to learn. I watched all the videos. I read all the books. I went through all the contracts on my own. I really just dug in because that's who I am. I'm very professional that way. But I was always getting that, well, if you're here in 6 months, then we'll take time to help you out. Because most people aren't here for 6 months, and it's a waste of our time unless you prove to us that you're loyal or that you're really dedicated. And I think that should be opposite. I really think that brokers should take the time with the very new kids coming out, adults, whatever you want to call it,
right,
the fresh minds, and really, this is a great book to read. These are great videos to read. These are tools that are going to help you. And I'm sorry, all you Mike Ferry and Tom Ferry fans, every agent in the world follows Mike Ferry and Tom Ferry and reads the scripts word for word. Every agent says the exact same thing because this is what works, so why should we change it? And if you are a seller right now, listen to me here. If you are ever going to sell your house, or if you are ever going to buy your house, and you pick 5 agents, and every one of those agents say the exact same thing, it is because they're following a script written by one of these gurus who used to be great at salesmanship, but now who are outdated, and it's not working anymore.
I don't think people like over-the-top, sophisticated salesmanship. They want a real straight shooter. They want a person who is going to tell them what the market really is, what the best potential for your home is in that market and for that day. If you are if you're selling your home, if you want to be told a certain thing, well, the Mark Ferries and what's the other one?
Tom
Ferries and all those guys, they're gonna teach you and teach agents to tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
And then what happens is that just sets you up for a fall, sets you up for a frustrating time. Within just about a month to 3 weeks, you're gonna not like your real estate agent.
But you've signed that contract, you signed a buyer broker.
Right.
I mean, if they're smart, they've got you a buyer broker, so now you're stuck with them. So it irritates me because I have never been like everybody else. And anybody who went to high school with me knows that, because I was the one kid that if I couldn't wear it weirdly, it didn't get worn. I didn't care. This is who I was. I was a very creative, eccentric type person. And so if it was ugly, I was wearing it. I went shopping specifically to find the ugly things because I don't do things traditionally like everybody else. I really, really value the relationships I make, doing a good job, and providing that service. I really value that. So when I'm calling you on the phone, first off, I want to know all about you, right? So I called this guy yesterday. He's got a building up for rent, and my daughter is a baker, and we're looking to start a bakery for her. And I called him, and he says, "Oh, you're a real estate agent? I'm not interested." And I said, "Wait, just a minute. Yes, I am a real estate agent, but I'm calling a personal call. It's a personal call. And he says, no, I don't talk to you because all you want is my listing. You all say the same thing. You all say the same thing. And really, I was just calling to find genuine information about
The unit,
that
a place that
building.
you could rent for your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem is there's so many agents. The truth of the matter is here in Southern Utah, there are about 1,100, 1,200,
I think 18.
1,800 real estate agents in a population of 140, 150,000 people. What's the percentage on that?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
It's
Math whiz here.
it's pretty high. In fact, if you were to talk with a lot of professionals in real estate and you were to tell them that you were going to go into real estate in Southern Utah with those numbers, and they say, "Are you crazy?
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy with those numbers?" It's not that way in a lot of parts, most of the parts of the country. With that in mind, because you have so many agents out there, they're all being taught and learning the same old garbage.
Same crap.
Same stuff. And when they come into their home, they're polished, and you'll read all about this in the Political Optimist, and be published in this year in July.
That's his book.
That's my book that'll come out. It's that they use intimidation in kind of a subversive way, and it makes you feel guilty, it makes you feel bad, and you've got to go with them, because if you don't, you're not going to get anything done. And it's not the way to sell. It's not a relationship building situation like Melinda was talking about, but they don't really know what your real concerns are. It's the last thing on their mind. I've got an architect that I work with who spends an enormous amount of time talking with you, asking questions about who you are. Do you like the sun rising in the morning on your bedroom, or do you not like the sun rising? All kinds of real details, so as when she designs a home, it's perfectly fitted for who you are. Well, not every marketing program is perfectly fitted for you, who you are.
Right.
You may not want neighbors to know that you're selling. You may want to just put it on the market for a short amount of time just to get a feel for where things are. You may be
moving to a different ward,
right,
which is a huge deal down here. Or I have even had people ask me to list their house because they're in the old ward with the old building, and a new church was just built. So they're going to sell their house just to be in that new church. And they don't want their neighbors to know all the information.
So if you don't take the time to ask questions to find out who you are, if the real estate agent doesn't do that, you know they're just regurgitating stuff. And it's a line that they've got, and they're pat, and they get good at delivering the line.
Great at delivering the line.
And what happens is they get good at countering your arguments, but not asking you questions.
Right.
Really terrible agents and terrible builders, anyone who's in the service industry of any kind, if they don't ask you questions and a long, detailed list of questions pertinent to how they serve you, then you know that they're not there for you, because a really good person actually tailors the marketing plan to your needs.
Well, and for example, like when I talk to somebody and they're looking for a house to buy, right? You know, of course I had to ask, what kind of house? 3-bedroom, 3-bath? What kind of schools? Are you high school kids? Where are your kids fit in? Do you like parks? That sort of thing. But then I ask, what about dogs? Do you have pets? What kind of pets? Because if you have a small dog, then a small yard will work. But if you have a big dog, a big yard needs to be.
Higher fence too.
And a higher fence. And you know, I mean, those all come into play. Why would I take you out and show you 9 houses, which takes all day long, and all 9 houses have a small yard, and you're like, I have a golden retriever. I can't have a small yard. If I hadn't asked that information already from the very beginning. Do you want to be close to the airport? Do you like to be close to Walmart? Is it walking distance? I mean, all those things are not in a script. All those things about what you're about, what your industry is. Do you commute? What kind of car do you have? Can your car make it a 30-mile trip every day? I mean, those are the things I want to know. I don't want to know, what is it going to take to get you into this house today?
Right. That's a favorite question. What is it going to take to get you into this house? What is it going to take for me to list this house for you? It's really one line, open-ended, loaded questions.
Right.
And it's always a yes or no, and then you're intimidated to say yes, and that's not the way to go. Here's something to help you understand what I'm talking about. If you go into a restaurant, and I may have brought this up before, if you see a waiter with 12 tables, do you want them waiting on you?
No.
No. But what will happen is that waiter will approach you and says, I've got the most sales, I've got the most listings in the area, I'm hot to trot, and then they get you to list with them, but then they walk away and then they give you a busboy to work on you.
Yep.
And so you get busboys to service you, and you never ever see that waiter ever again. And so it's a real misnomer to hire a real estate agent who has 25 or more listings. It's nuts. You're not going to get the service you think you're going to get, because that person who's making that sales pitch to you right now, they're never going to be seen again. They're off trying to get another listing again. Don't do it.
See, my max is 10. I'm good with 10. I can handle 10. 10 is a good
Mine
number.
is 4 homes at any given time. I've built 17 homes at a time with a nonprofit organization. I will not go there again. I did have construction managers and supervisors, but I couldn't be there to watch, to oversee, to catch, to make improvements during the process.
Right.
It's too difficult. I used to be in the restaurant industry, and 6 tables, 5 tables in a high-end restaurant. In a fast-paced restaurant, maybe 7, maybe 8. That's really pushing it. Some waiters can handle 9, maybe 10 tables, but not 12, 13, 14 tables at once. And it just makes it unbearable, and you're not getting the service you need. So again, when you're looking at a realtor or even a contractor or anything like that, ask them how many people they're currently serving right now. It's a big indicator.
Well, okay, and that leaves an example. Like, I showed some lots a while back ago, and one of the guys called me and he says, have you ever sold any lots in this neighborhood? Well, me personally, no. I've never sold any lots in that neighborhood. I outright said, no, I've never sold lots in this neighborhood. Can I sell a lot? Yes. Do I know a lot about construction? Yes. Do I know a lot about that subdivision? Absolutely. Have I sold any lots in there? No. But when I come back to talk to other brokers, not mine, please be aware, not mine, because he's a great guy. But when you talk to other brokers, they're like, oh, no, don't do that. You should have said, according to these records, our office has sold 35 lots in that neighborhood. So you have sold 35 lots. Mm-hmm. I can't do that.
Yeah, they want to manufacture just about anything they need to tell you to get them listed with them. And it's called lying. You know?
Oh, yeah, the syndicating online. I syndicate in hundreds of places. Well, you know what? If you're on the MLS actually syndicates to all those places. We all do that. We all belong to the MLS. So what makes me different? What makes me different? And I have to sell that, right? I have to believe in that. I have to believe in what makes me different. What makes me different is I care. Absolutely. Provide great service. Absolutely. And I'm a proactive agent on social media and in the community. Not everybody is as active as I am in my community, and not everybody is as active on social media as they should be.
Yeah, we are kind of aggressive on this because her husband's a builder and my wife's a real estate agent. And so we really understand this industry quite well. And so we're the vocal parts of our marriages.
Yes.
And so we came together with the intent that we need to just tell it like it is, from our own hearts, what the problems are, what the good benefits are, not only with just hiring us as your builder or your realtor, but for anything you're wanting to do with regard to real estate. Take your time. My wife recently, this is a really interesting story. She had, I think she'll won't mind me telling her, so I won't refer any names. But she got a client that called her, and basically the client says, it took me 3 days to find you. And basically my wife's just genuine, raw, just super sweet. We'll serve you up all the time and everything you need, just very, very high quality. And this person who used to be a realtor in a very prestigious market found her and recognized that. It took her, she went out of her way to find my wife. And so really good salespeople who know quality when they see it, they know what to look for, and they'll spend an enormous amount of time finding it. And I think that we all have to be aware of what good quality is. We went and bought a car about a couple months ago, And we were avoiding this salesman over there in the corner, and we know he was eyeing us. But we wanted to go with this gentleman who sold us the car, but he wasn't there. And so when we went into the dealership, we says, I can't remember his name, Steve. Let's say his name is Steve. We want Steve to be our sales agent. He was very helpful, kind. He asked a lot of questions. He was patient with us. He didn't tell us anything. He answered all of our questions we had and gave us some good advice. And he wasn't there. But another agent says, well, I'll help you, but we'd like Steve to be a part of this sale. Not a problem. Let's get him on the phone right now. Steve, this is Joe. Hey, we got some clients in here, and they said that you were helping them. Great. Should I go ahead and help them for you? And we'll deal with the thing on the back end between the two of us. Sure, not a problem. And he said, let me tell you a little bit about the Kelches. And he spent 2 or 3 minutes to explain who we are.
Because he remembered. He
remembered us. And then he was able to just, hand that off onto the next sales agent. The other one, the vulture, I'll call it who it is, wasn't that way. And so when you're really, when the salesperson is really open, very, whether they can take you or not, or leave you, that doesn't bother them. It's not going to ruin their day. They're very relaxed in their own person. These are some great qualities you want to look for.
Yes. And, and I have a sales story on that too. I was in a sales meeting here, and I was dressed in my skivvies, my sweatpants and a t-shirt. And normally I try to come to work very professional, but today I had to move my clients that just bought a house. They're both retired, both in their 70s, couldn't move furniture very well. So I was helping them move. One of the agents said to me, "Are you serious? What else do you do for your clients?" I said, well, I've found my clients jobs. I have got my clients. One is a massage therapist. She does great. I've actually gotten her some other sales and some other things she does. I do a lot for my clients because they're not really my clients. They're my friends.
That's a big difference. I'm a lot like Melinda. My wife is the same way. We actually help you find jobs, find resources, connections, networks is a big issue
Tennis
here. Groups, all that you need to know. I've worked with professors at Dixie State University. I've worked with people. Just my wife ran into a Hispanic woman who was going to retire, but she needed to find work, and she could only afford a home that was $75,000. And that's all that she could afford. She had cash. She had cash. That's all she could afford. She couldn't qualify for anything. Well, she found a modular home that needed a little bit of repair. And got her into the home. It was not easy. I mean, the work that my wife did for her was just phenomenal. And Melinda's the same way. There's not many people out there like that. In the office that my wife was working on, this woman was passed off by several agents.
Because it's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, and they knew that they didn't want to have to wrestle for a $75,000 ticket. Yeah. They wanted something around $200,000 or $300,000 ticket. That's more, return for them. But what's neat is that when you really service somebody and you go out of their way, in time, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, your name becomes known for what it is. Yep. And it's really hard to find these people, even at that point. They could be in the business for 10 years. It's still hard to find these people because they're not overt, they're not aggressive, always out there making phone calls and sending all kinds of garbage to you.
Looking busy.
They're always looking busy, but they're not really doing the work. So look for those that are, I guess you could say, being of service to other people.
Or genuine.
Genuine, ask around, and if you're a genuine person, we want to serve you.
Yes.
If you're like us, we are very, very happy to go out of our way to make your life just that much better. So.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Anything else on that?
No, I don't know. No.
You could go out still on it.
I'm writing that part in my book, actually, because I really want to make sure people get service, and I have a whole different attitude. That could go on for hours, though, about how teams are done in real estate, about how it's about giving back. To me, it's about giving back. Like today, I just spent, 7 hours organizing a high school golf tournament as a fundraiser. Could I have been on the phone cold calling, using my dialer, calling those guys, getting those sales? Absolutely. But you know what? I don't do that, first off. But
we need a network for cool people. All the cool people that in the world should join a network. And the only way they can, we're going to do this, is I'm launching this in October, where all the cool people in this network only allow other cool people. in the
Who
network.
determines if you're cool or not?
If you're impatient, well, the whole group by
Oh,
consent.
got it.
The whole group by universal consent will agree to that you're cool. And so it's not by popular vote and it's not by
I was gonna say, I
application
wasn't
or
very
fee.
popular in high school, so
So-
that won't work.
But if we join, if we create an organization just for different people like us, then that would be just fine. So look for that to happen in October of this year sometime.
You heard him, October.
But ask around. Don't be so eager to go with whatever you see is coming up first online. That's
Right.
not a good bet because they pay to be in those positions. And that's not a guarantee of any service of any kind either. Go into your brokers and talk to your brokers. Who do you think is the most ethical? Who do you think is the one that's most service oriented in your group? That's a really good route. Maybe we can come up with a simple survey over the next couple of weeks. Play around with the survey.
Okay.
So you can be on the salesmanship side of things, and you can ask questions of them to determine if they're good. And we're going to play with that. I've got a business partner who's actually writing a book on that topic, but I will play with that.
That'd be a good idea.
So
And you can follow us both on Facebook, because I'm there. I love social media, Twitter, all that stuff. You're on Twitter?
yeah, I'm on Twitter, Keith Kelch. Just go to Keith Kelch. I'm always posting stuff on there. I posted something a week ago, and a guy got retweeted by 42 people.
Awesome.
It was
That's
phenomenal.
awesome.
I'm more of the philosopher type with nonfiction books and stuff like that. And then, of course, you can follow me on Kelch Construction on Facebook. I'm there. Just type in Keith Kelch. There's only 3 of us in the country with that name, so it's easy to find me. So
And I'm sure you'd be like, I'll find out the criminal record of Keith
Yeah.
Couch.
yeah, my past lives, you can find it there. So
That's awesome. Okay, so is that it? I think that's it. I do have one announcement though. Women's Council of Realtors, I'm involved. I am gonna plug it. I'm involved in Women's Council of Realtors, and we do a yearly fundraiser where we do a fashion show and we donate portion of our funds to a charity that is local. Well, okay. So normally we do a silent auction, which we're still going to do that this year, but I wanted to be able to give back to the people that attend. So it's not just a, we want your money at the door type thing. And so I am selling centerpiece areas for each one of the tables to businesses, and we are making baskets. So you buy the centerpiece spot for $50, and then you provide a basket, and that basket should be something that a real estate agent could maybe replicate for a closing gift.
yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So donate the women's, what was it?
Women's Council. of
Women's
Realtors.
Council. My wife was a member of that a long time ago. It's a great organization.
It's a great organization. And by the way, you should be getting closing gifts when you buy a house from real
Yeah, if a real estate agent isn't, you should ask, what is my closing gift? So when somebody wants to sign with you, it says, okay, if I sign you with you and you sell the home, what's my closing
What's
gift?
my closing gift? I don't know. What kind of restaurants do you want?
I like
More questions?
like to doing baskets of fruit and all kinds of stuff. And so when they get in their home, they have fresh eggs from my garden. They've got some orange juice and a lot of neat little things like that. So
I do mine all different based on who you are.
anyway, thanks for joining us this week at Southern Utah Community, and watch us grow. We'll be continually voicing who we really are.
Yes, and comment, ask questions, whatever, because we'd really like to address questions if you have some. Maybe you're in a situation where you are trying to buy a house and you don't quite have the real estate agent that you want, and you're wanting to know how to get out of that situation. Yeah. Or maybe you have a great real estate agent and you want to give them kudos, because we always like to give credit where credit's due.
We don't believe in competition. We just believe in being the best you are.
Yep.
Competition is for those who think the world is scarce. There's not room for all of us.
Competition. There's no competition.
There's no competition. Anyway, thanks a lot. We'll see you next Friday.
See you next Friday.